Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Canada Soccer men's national team media call with head coach John Herdman, along with a squad selection for September's FIFA World Cup Qualifiers. This will be the first of 5 international windows during which Canada will play 14 matches in the CONCACAF final round of FIFA World Cup Qualifiers on the journey to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Of the 3 September matches, Canada will play at home on Thursday, 2 September and Wednesday, 8 September. Tickets are on sale via Ticketmaster to a maximum 15,000 attendance per match. We'll start with an opening question before we go around with media. So, John, we'll start off. How excited are you to begin this next step on the journey, and just as importantly, to get back to playing on home soil?
Yeah, I think getting back to home soil is just what we've all been waiting for. I think the players, the staff, but more the players, to represent your country, there's something about playing in your country and feeling that national anthem when you've got a packed out stadium like BMO Field. And again, the last time we played here, 2019, we remember the fans in that last 20 minutes sort of willing the team on to get that result, and that's irreplaceable. So I think just coming back home, everyone's excited to start a new journey in a new space as well. I think the team feel that they're in a new place and are excited to show their fans how much they care about taking this team to a World Cup.
Thank you. We'll go to a news agency, Post Media. Derek, a 2-part question.
Sure. Hey, John, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
I just want to ask you about the importance of depth coming into these qualifiers, because you're playing so many games in such a short amount of time. I just wonder if you can comment on the depth that you have on your squad and how you plan on utilizing it here in these first 3 games of the qualifiers.
Yeah, when you look at the realities of the new schedule with 3 games, it's sort of unprecedented. I think in CONCACAF to feel that sort of cadence, saying, you play a Thursday or a Friday, a Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday, and you're in a new rhythm. And the rhythm means that you have got to consider the accumulative fatigue of players in the period of time you've got them, the magnitude of certain games where you have to win, and games where a result is as good as a win, and how you manage those players across those 3 games with the mentality of every window you've completed a stage of this 14-stage campaign, and then coming out of that, the players have got to go back to their clubs. And some players, if you think of Davies, etc., will have the loading of club and Champions League. And then it's a 3-week turnaround to get them back in for another three games. So there's a lot of complexity there, but that's the stuff I love. I love that stuff, Derek. That's the thing that I get out of bed on. I love being able to just look at strategizing and I guess our staff challenging ourselves to find the best way forward for this group of men. And you've mentioned, I guess, the depth of the squad. I mean, we were able to show a squad of players at a World Cup qualifying and then a squad of players at the Gold Cup. And what I've been able to do for this camp is choose the best of those, the best of the players that have helped Canada move onto this trajectory and to take us through these stages of qualifying. So I think you're seeing the best of that group of the players that are playing, that are in form, and more importantly, have contributed to the success of the team.
And heading into these qualifiers, do you look at it as a whole? Do you look at the 3 games and trying to manage what's best, do you think, will be through those 3 games? Or do you go in and say, we're going to start our best 11 in game 1, go with our next best in game 2, go with what we have in game 3? How do you kind of approach these 3 games here?
Well, we've looked at a campaign plan. So we've looked at the 14 matches. We've worked around what we see our points totals and what our stretch goal is that, puts the world on notice. And what the minimum requirement is to qualify. We've looked at where our margins for error are. We're aware of the road victories that we're absolutely targeting. And ultimately, we want to win every game at home. And that's a priority for us, to accumulate 21 points in Canada, in areas in Canada that, fans can get behind us, and we can create environments where we have got a fortress. I think all of our fans believe we can, and the players believe we can get to that magic number of 21 points at home. And I think that's the mission, to get after and win all of our games at home. And we know that there is some margins for error, because the football gods aren't always going to smile on you every game, and that's part of football. So, we've been building them into our points tallies, and just being clear that whichever way we go about this, that there's a magic number that we're going to hit. And this team are absolutely committed, staff, players, organization, to get this team to Qatar. And I think we've got the clarity that one game at a time, we know what we need out of that game. We know what team's going into it, and we'll do our best to bring the points.
Thanks, John. Best of luck.
Hey, John, looking at the squad, not a ton of surprises. One advantage you have is the core of this squad has really been together for a few years now. What have you learned about the core of this squad that's front of mind for you as you enter, the most important games that they've ever played for country, and the most important games that you've ever coached for country?
Yeah. Well, I think, like you've said, they've been together, they've been through it. So, there've been some key moments, the learning moment against Haiti. I listened to Atiba speak at the end where, he said, we'll learn from this and we'll be back. And then the moment against the US here in Toronto was a big step to let people know that we're on our way. And then that moment in Haiti, the moment where, for me, we showed that, the purpose wouldn't give way to the pain of being in one of those tough conditions, and watching the lads sing the anthem in a way that I hadn't experienced it in the 3 years I've been here. It just shows that it means more to us than it does to some of these other countries now. And in previous times, some guys had said, like, it just never felt like we would connect around a deeper purpose. So, and then the Gold Cup, I think the Gold Cup, the Costa Rica game, was a big one for the players, knowing that, we didn't have Davies, we didn't have David, we didn't have Lauren, Boyan, Scott Kennedy, but we were still able to, have a good performance, a solid performance. And then finally, just that fight against Mexico. And when you put all of this together, it's exactly what you've said. There's been a core group of men that have experienced that together. And it's that togetherness that is the foundation of their success. So, I think we've got a strong foundation that you'll never see this team give up. They'll fight tooth and nail to take this country to Qatar. And, at times, as I say, the football gods might not smile on us, but you'll never question the desire of this group of men, and you'll never question the fight that they'll bring into the game to make this country proud.
It's good to chat. I'm struck by the fact that the squad is named on a day when 4 members of the squad are watching the draw for the Champions League group stages. And we're chatting now when 3 other members of the squad are competing in the Europa League / Europa Conference League. How big is that for this squad as it grows and it develops? Because, you've spoken so much about what they've experienced together on the international stage, but having them compete at that level so regularly now, having like a core of 7 or 8 or even 9 of them kind of competing at that kind of level. When we look at kind of US national team, there's obviously a big contingent there too.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. And, I think the antecedents behind some of their trajectory has been the ability to, represent their country at a young age. I think, a lot of these players have been propelled into the spotlight because of their performances at Gold Cups, You only have to look at Tejan and Johnny David, Alfonso. And I think that's been a big mantra for all of us. We've been looking at finding young talent, allowing them to use the national team as a springboard when we can see that talent has the potential to reach new ceilings. And they've ended up migrating young and then getting those experiences young. And I think that's important as well. So you have a look at how young this group is, but the types of experiences now they're going to carry in, not only to this campaign, but into the World Cup 2022, into the World Cup 2026. And I feel like there's just a new desire, and it's born out of their experience and what they've felt and seen in those European experiences, Champions League experiences, that desire now to take this team to the top. And I feel like that's where the mentality is with this team. It's starting to shift, that it's not just about qualifying, it's about, looking at that World Cup and bringing a new level of competitiveness into a World Cup. So we're not there participating. And it's too early to talk about being in the World Cup, but right in 2018, when I took over, the first conversation I had with the group was, look, this 4-year journey is about preparing you to play an opening match against Italy or Brazil or the Netherlands or Argentina, and to come out of that game and knowing that we competed. And I think that's where the mentality is. And you won't get that mentality by just playing in CONCACAF. You get that through the big moments these men are experiencing, whether it's Atiba and Kyle in those big games to decide the league in Turkey, or Jonathan in the PSG game, or Fonzie in the Champions League final. I mean, yeah, it's the intangible that I think is creating a new mentality within this group that makes us all believe anything's possible.
Hey, John, good to see you as always, and thanks
John.
for doing it. Tejan has had quite the summer, making his debut in June, young player award at Gold Cup, and he's earned the transfer to Club Bruges. What have you made of his rather rapid ascent, and how do you see him sort of fitting into this team that is, not short on attacking options?
Yeah, and it has been an ascent. I mean, you think he was in college football only two and a half years ago. But that ascent is, I think, born out of, if you go right back to, what he's experienced as a young man growing up. I mean, he's had to grow up pretty quickly. He's a very mature individual. That seems to me that he's just laser focused on reaching the highest heights. That's what I've experienced when he's worked in the environment. I've set him some tests when he's had to defend against Alfonso, and he sees that there's another level. When Fonzie wants to turn a gear, he has to try and match that gear, and he's always reflected on those training sessions in a way that he sees where he wants to get to. So there's a mentality there, John, that underpins that ascent for sure, that I've seen with this young man. And it's one of those unique mentalities. It's like the Johnny David that I used to see, that young Johnny David, that you could just see he's so focused and professional, that he's going to move to that next level, and whatever level he lands in, he's going to thrive. So yeah, I'd have to say it's that mentality. And then, what we've seen from an attacking perspective is just, it's brilliant for Canada. It's absolutely brilliant that we've got, threats on the right side, threats on the left side. We've got pace, we've got dribbling ability. We've got a player that can score at the back post. He can, cut inside off the left and score. But more importantly, he's got the hybrid ability to be a wing back or a full back. So he's really sort of evolving into that modern wide player. But I think for Canada, he's going to give us that level of flexibility to take some attention away from Alfonso. And I think you've seen that in the qualification campaign when he came off the field as an impact player in the finishing moments. He really did every game add something to that last 20 minutes. And I think when you think of now Davies, who I think a lot of teams can start targeting, the pace, power, the trickery, and how he can impact the game on the left side. You've got Tejan who can operate on the right, but you've got both of them now who could swap sides and play at fullback or wing back or as a wide forward. So, I think it just brings another level of dread in the opponent, and, the complexity it'll layer in their planning and scouting and being able to deal with it.
Great. Thanks, John, and good luck.
We'll just wrap up with one final question for the group. And so, John, how can this group of players inspire our nation playing in this CONCACAF final round for the first time in nearly 25 years?
Well, I think they've started that journey by getting there. I mean, that's, we're guaranteeing 14 matches that we haven't had for 27 plus years. And that's all the fans want. And I'm a football fan myself. I want to watch my team play. I want to see them competing against the best in CONCACAF. And more importantly, I want to be able to take my kids and be part of that whole match day experience, singing the national anthem. And like I say, I'm a fan at heart. I understand what it means to people to experience this whole campaign. And I think for the players, they know the gravity of this moment for our country. It genuinely is a turning point and a tipping point. But we're not going to let that weigh on us. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it with the fans. We're going to seize the opportunity and just give it everything. Like everything we've got, you'll see, every man, every staff member just pushing every ounce of Canadian out of themselves to get us over this line. So yeah, just no excuses. We're going to get after this, and through what you see on the field and just our commitment, we'll inspire people to just keep pushing further with us, and that's all we want. At the end of it, we feel like we've connected a country, and we've qualified for the biggest sporting event on the planet.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you, everyone. That wraps up our Canada Soccer men's national team media call with head coach John Herdman, along with the squad selection for September's FIFA World Cup Qualifiers.